Happy Wednesday, everyone. I am the doc, John Macaroon. Pre-snap motion is of the utmost importance right now. Did I have a bad day? Did I do something wrong? Hey, it's a chance to grow. Every single day is a chance to grow, learn, figure stuff out, explain, take your complaints, and dispel whatever it is people are thinking I was trying to accomplish with a question. A question means you have an idea in your head and you need someone to dispel it or give insight into something. But now, let me give you guys insight into what happened today. I wake up, I read everything. I'm not a reporter that says to people, I don't read 95% of the coverage and then I just do my job. No, I'm formulated by what a lot of smart people say. I read everybody. I don't just pick and choose who I like, who I don't like. I try to consume as much knowledge, watch as much information to do the job to the best of my ability. I can't message someone and say, I don't read your stuff and then share with my audience I don't know something. I don't know how to do that because there are 10 to 12 amazing people doing this job and I read it all. And there's also great former athletes doing this. So I wake up and I consume content and I formulate what I want to know about. And then stuff just will come to me. And I don't think like everybody else. I don't need to. That's why this is the Lone Wolves podcast. I am a lone wolf. I don't care what anybody thinks about me. I don't care what certain reactions are. I want to learn and grow and fulfill the part of the job that I feel is important, which is to ask questions, to learn about something that I'm thinking. Sometimes it's not going to go exactly right. And typically that's why I am direct. If you ask me a follow-up, there could be some word salad that comes out. That is my weakness. It's on the spot. It's, like I said, it's not one of those things where it's well elaborately thought out. It's just a kind of a simple concept that I want to learn about. But Dan has now a knack of wanting to follow up. Today, I was a little bit more quick-witted, but I misfired. In the end, it still was in the realm of change. The thought was everybody and their mom knows the Lions offense is not the same. You're not fooling everybody. You're not fooling anybody. Okay, but first, let's also remember that I'm impacted by what I see. This is one of the first things I see this morning, which I wholeheartedly agree with from Herman Moore. Wholeheartedly, I thought he was talking to my soul. That's how good it was. This is Herman Moore saying there is no time for patience. There is no time for adjustment. It's go time. All right. This is what he said today to his audience.
I love you. But we go up and down
and he's talking about how the fan base goes up and down, but the players got to get after it. This is the great Herman Moore and his great perspective. I respected it greatly. This is one of the first things I wake up to this morning.
Fans, y'all know I love you. But we go up and down and we're in and we're out. We can do that. Players can't do that. Players can't check in and check out. Players have to always be present. They always have to believe that this is the year, this is the time to get it done. And when you're the back-to-back defending NFC North champions, you got to play that way. Day one. Forget about the preseason. Whether or not this team could have played more in the preseason, that ship has sailed. You got what you got. Either you're ready or you're not. And if you're ready, you have to come out and be ready. This isn't a rookie team. You don't get those excuses anymore. It's the same team. I've been there, done that. I played with multiple coordinators. I played with inconsistency in systems. I played where my position one year was this and the next year it was that. Players do that. Barry did that. Calvin did. Everyone does it. It happens on every single team. You don't get a pass. No one gets a pass on this. You got to figure it out. Fans, y'all know I love you.
Okay. Beautiful. Herman Moore spoke directly to what I think. Why did it not look the same? Because they made some changes. Now, also, where did I come up with this? Jared Goff said the communication change. Because I do my job diligently and I respect the craft and I respect every single person that does the craft, I try to find as much information about the Lions as possible. You think on a Tuesday at 10:30 when in the morning when I'm exhausted that I want to listen to Jared Goff talk on the radio? I don't. Sometimes I go, man, but it's the job because it fills you with information. And Jared says things to people that he's kind of closer to, as opposed to the 6 minutes he gives us. It's a little different. Jared is a little bit more insightful on the radio. It's no big deal. So I listened to it. I listened to what Jared Goff said. It also informed my question. Okay, now, maybe you read it, maybe you didn't. But my job is to know as much as humanly possible, so I don't sound ignorant when Dan Campbell comes and talks to me. Okay, now today I wanted to kind of give Dan a little bit of insight into my thinking. Maybe I should have just said why. I mean, he could have just then, if I would have said, why not just run and why not make no change? I didn't say why not run the same offense. I feel like I said some people, myself included, are wondering why make changes. Jared said there's changes in communication. I've noted the pre-snap motion didn't exactly look the same. The offense didn't look right. Dan Orlovsky screaming about it. Rex Ryan screaming about it. Adam Schefter's talking about it. I saw it on 3 film reviews. But further, I don't just come haphazardly with stupid questions. So for those that didn't like it, I humbly apologize. Okay? I feel like it came from a place of why. I'm curious. Something was different. I didn't like it. And I don't care if you call it stupid. I told you, my nephew is still to this day ripping on me for the fantasy win that he got. You think all those Twitter comments calling me stupid impacts me? It doesn't. I'm a trained psychologist. I know not to take things personally. You like the questions that are favorable to your team. You don't like the questions where Dan dismisses me. That's fine. I'm not winning a popularity contest against Dan Campbell. My ego's not that big. I am actually, for those that care to pay attention, I am humble. But I don't like less than stellar efforts. Now, on my end, I got maybe into word salad because I truly wanted him to understand my question. The more you give, the more insight you give. But it went into a different direction because then he locked in on the pre-snap motion, which by facts, he told me to go and learn that he lied to me. And I'll share that too. But this is what Jared Goff said that I read this morning. One of the first things I read this morning. Okay, and I'm going to bold it out here. And I'll read it. This is from Jared Goff on 97.1, which I love Will Birchfield and what he does. One of the smartest people out there. But hey, Will, Boston College still took the L to the Spartans. Remember that. Don't forget it. Will. If you're panicking about Detroit's offense, this is Jared Goff to Carson Anderson, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Been here decades. They've earned my listenership. If you're panicking about Detroit's offense after one game, Goff would tell you to relax. While they lost a couple key pieces up front, the Lions still have the weapons that made this one of the most dangerous units in the NFL for the last 3 seasons. Goff said that it's impossible to try to compare Morton's offense to Johnson's because it's a completely new thing that we're doing with him. Not a new system, but a new communication. Changes, maybe advancements, maybe, different cadences, different kind of communication to throw off people. Maybe you even throw off your own linemen. It's a new human. So there's different things going on. And the rest of it, I disregard because I'm not going back to 2022. Okay, so now that's in my brain. That's 2 things that shape the doc's question. 2. Now, I also listen to podcasts in the morning. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown's podcast. It's one of the best, most insightful, most reasoned podcasts because it's real. It's not phony baloney. He's not trying to kiss the ass of anybody. He's not trying to just keep everything positive. He addresses stuff directly. Okay, and remember, a question is not an opinion. A question is This is kind of what I'm thinking, Dan. This is what I think some fans are thinking. There was a change. This is loud. This is the NFL. I know it's been asked, but I said something different. I said the word feasible. Potentially. Could it have been? Maybe you think about it. Maybe it sparks an idea. But also, too, Equanimeous St. Brown brought up the point that I also agreed with. And Amon-Ra agreed. Oh, I see that. Okay? So this is not coming out of thin air. This is not some egomaniac wanting to dominate a room. This is a genuine, curious question. And I know the simple answer. Well, no, Ben Johnson's gone. But you have the same talent. Equanimeous saw it. Common sense people saw it. The only people that don't see it are the journalists. Common sense. The offense has one new piece. Graham Glasgow, it's a big dip. And then you could say, okay, Tate Ratledge. But that's a high draft pick. Second rounder. There's going to be some adjustments on the road. Fine. But wouldn't you think some familiarity would have behooved the Lions so there wouldn't be miscommunication? They put so much, maybe that was the thing that Dan said. They tried to keep it the same, but they couldn't execute it. But still, the pre-snap motion wasn't the same. The offense just didn't look right. It wasn't as aggressive. Even if you would have took 2 shots down the field, it just didn't look right. It didn't feel right. It had the feel of something different. Am I wrong? Tell me that. Am I wrong? So now, this is Equanimeous St. Brown on the podcast this morning, which I listened to, which shaped my opinion of the question. And we'll get to it. Are the Lions going to have success with John Morton's offense? This is what I heard from Equanimeous St. Brown. Very insightful from Equanimeous for once. This is Equanimeous St. Brown this morning, which I heard and listened to in full to try and formulate an opinion to ask good questions. And maybe, like I said, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was not a good question at all. We'll talk about it. This is Equanimeous responding to Amon-Ra. Very insightful, very bright.
Ended up winning. So,
You know why I think they're reacting that way?
why is that?
Because I was thinking about this. I was watching the game. I was like, dude, first of all, on offense, I think you guys only lost like Ragnow, pretty much the biggest loss. I'm like, you guys pretty much have the same team, if not a better team. You're fully healthy on defense, offense, everyone's returning. And it's like, as a fan, I'm like, bro, looking at it, like, obviously it's week 1, I'm not saying this is the reason, but I'm like, the only major difference to your team are the coordinators, Like, so it's like, that's why they're panicking. I'm not panicking, but I'm saying that's why fans are panicking, because they're looking at, like, look at our roster, look at our players, and then that's what happens. We know it's week 1. They're a good team,
Yeah, I can see that. Where you're
Oh, wise people can think outside the box. What do you know? What do you know? I could see that. All that's in your brain. Doesn't that then compute to me to ask, is it feasible you could have just ran the same thing as last year? Just the exact same. Everything's the same. John Morton also said last May, I would be crazy to change this offense. Change the communication, change whatever. He said it would be crazy. The offense, it's also the ultimate compliment I'm giving your offense. Last year's offense was amazing. I would not change anything. I feel like John Morton could come into work at 9 a.m. We have the same great offense. Let's just go run it. Whatever that was on Sunday, you can X's and O's it to death. You can say whatever you want. That was not Ben Johnson's offense, which in turn, you guys told us that was John Morton helped to put this in there. Did Ben steal all the secrets? Austin, man, thank you. Austin, I'm proud of you, man. Thank you. And I welcome another viewpoint. Maybe it wasn't worded correctly. Maybe I got into the word salad when I'm usually direct, but I truly wanted Dan to understand what I was saying. Truly. That I would add more words to help understand. Jared said there's more communication. There's major changes. Did you see major changes? I mean, I heard it and I read it. That's double confirmed. Austin C, $10 super chat. Keep asking the hard questions, Doc. It's what we need in the media, not only in sports, but all news and media. I expect tough questions for Johnny Morton as well. We need to be heard, and you have a voice. What would you like me to ask John Morton? I mean, I beat it to death. He's going to say to me, what do you want me to say? I'm not Ben Johnson. What would you like me to ask John Morton? And then let's start humbly. Like I said, I am humble. Otherwise, I wouldn't sit here in the firing squad and say, hey, I wouldn't sit here and be attacked on X or wherever people are complaining about it. And I didn't think it was really that big a deal other than that we had to move on because Dan directed it into a spot where it didn't go. And also, too, really for Dan, he could have just handled it simply. He could have said, I know people are thinking that, John. I understand that was not good, but John Morton's going to put a touch on this offense that I think everyone's going to love. It just takes a little bit of time. John Morton, the offense is going to look like what it's supposed to look like. Or he could say, no, this is, I know we said it wasn't going to change, but I think John Morton's slice of this is going to be great. Answer the question. Or you could just say, Doc, I know you're a geek and you figured out some way that our pre-snap motion percentage was lower. Maybe we'll have to up it. Anything. But we are left here because partly that's my fault. If an answer's not given, that's my fault. But I got to talk slower and I got to just repeat the main point and not go off into stuff that maybe he's going to check into and not want to answer. The pre-snap motion stuff was really irrelevant, but it's relevant because the facts indicate that the Lions did less pre-snap motion. Thank you for the $10. Did you like the question? Was I way off base? Could I have done it better? What the heck happened? I didn't think it was that crazy. Let's get your guys' reaction. Arthur Fonzarelli is in. I don't care if the Packers were slipping or not. The point is, it negates speed, which is what the Lions excel, and on offense with Williams and Gibbs. Those guys are at a different level when they're on. The two guards were the problem, no matter what plays were called. Solidio Gloria. The keys to wisdom. Ben Johnson's offense also degraded every time a key offensive line injury happened. But even with injuries, they were better than these starters right now. First and foremost, was that a bad question? Could it have been formulated if you were to ask it? If you were going to ask the same thing, not tell me, ask something else. If you're going to ask the same question, I prefaced it by saying, hey, would it have been feasible, just knowing how great your offense was? There have been some changes. Jared said there's been some changes in communication. Would it have been reasonable, feasible? Some people are thinking, I'm thinking maybe too, not make a single change. Just roll in and see what you got. Our best versus your best. I don't know. He could have had some insightful. And I don't know. I felt like it came from a place of curiosity and not from a place of assumption and from a place that I think you guys wanted to talk about it. The offense doesn't look the same. And then on top of yesterday, Dan Orlovsky, who's a former NFL quarterback, who is very bright, said that is concerning. Is he biased? Maybe. I'm not apologizing. Ascolio, Lion slappies are triggered by the doc. No, I don't want that. That's not. Listen, we're all having fun here. The idea of the at Detroit podcast is really to poke fun and to needle and to walk that fine line of professional and unprofessional. And, sometimes you go over it. Sometimes you kind of walk it back. That's the idea. But truly, I wanted insight into what Dan Campbell was thinking about this offense, because that is not going to cut it. And listen, this year you don't get to have this freewheeling, let's just take 2 months to get into this offense. Jared said he thinks it's going to take 3 to 4 weeks. You might not be able to, you might be 0-3. Do we forget that the schedule is kind of tough? The Bears will be tough. The Ravens will be tough. The Bengals will be tough. The Browns might be not so tough. But, and the one answer that Dan gave that was primo, he said, this is the new standard. Everybody's focused on everything. This is something that means we're important. Abso-stinking-lutely. And if something changes in something that was good, I look at it like, well, Ben Johnson left. It's simplistic. John Morton is not Ben Johnson. I kind of see the tie that they work together. And if you're John Morton and you saw Ben Johnson's offense, I'm just running that. What spin does John Morton have to have credibility to not run what Ben Johnson was running? I know he's been in the game forever. He wants to try the new stuff. But I saw stuff that worked. If I do something that works and it's there, I just keep doing it over and over and over. So, is that what it was? He locked in on what Goff said. Maybe that's what I was thinking too. What did Goff say about the communication? He said there's major changes in communication. Why? I get it. I know why. Throw off, some new systems, some new checks, some new stuff to work in so that other teams don't know because it's the Packers. I get it. I know ball. But wouldn't you think it would be more similar to what you know early in the season? And then do whatever you got to do. Skip out on the pre-snap motion. Start with the basics. Listen, also, too, you also got to remember, Tanner Engstrand got that offense in week 1. The Ravens and Bills, what are they waiting for? This is a go-now start league. This business is a winning business. You win, you learn, and you grow. You lose, you analyze, and you pick apart what the heck happened. And part of it is the offense did not live up to expectations. So you got to know why. You can't assume why. You guys can assume, well, this happened, and the guards and that. I have the blessing and the privilege to be able to ask the man directly, face to face. So that's what I did. Now, my part is I'm not used to it. It's like answer questions. My questions are really kind of easy. I feel like they're the easiest of the easiest questions. Is it feasible you could have kept the offense the same? John, no. Don't talk to me like I have this collar on. Talk to me like I have a t-shirt on. John, come on. Feasible? What happened to the Dan Campbell, the fun loving? John, you want me just to sit here and not evolve? That's no fun. I get bored with the same stuff. I want to see Johnny Morton's offense. He could have kept it light. He could have did anything, but then just harp on the, well, then also too, which is weird, is that, does he not assume that we listen to other people? Maybe he thinks, well, these guys don't ever talk to anybody. They're big egomaniacs. They never listen. Everybody and their mom said the pre-snap motion looked different. Everybody and their mom said it. Okay? If you would have asked me, I said, maybe it's 10% different. I don't know. That wasn't what I was focused on. Everybody and their mom said pre-snap motion. So I'm like, okay, if 10,000 people are saying it, it didn't look like it was the same, but that's not what's in my head. Okay, but let's look at the facts. So what am I supposed to think about Dan Campbell now that he said, well, go look at it? And you guys are the best of the best. You guys sent it to me. What am I supposed to feel about this? Okay, what am I supposed to feel? I feel like communication in this modern age is pretty straightforward and simple. There are facts and there's narrative. I kind of stay in the direct zone, but also bring up stuff that I think is relevant. So this is what was sent to me, and by many of you. Thank you for your niceness. These are the facts. These are the facts. So would this not indicate change? From Scott Barrett, DFB on X, courtesy of Fantasy Points Data. Now, you guys can go check it out yourself, but I think common sense indicated that the Lions weren't using motion to the degree in which they could decipher the defense to the degree that it would help. John, go check out what we did on the road last year. Okay, someone sent it within 5 minutes. Detroit Lions 2024 road games. All motion 66%, sixth in the league. Pre-snap motion 30.8%, 21st. During snap motion 35.2. Shifts 2.4%. Detroit Lions 23.3%, 30th. Pre-snap motion 9.3%, 30th. During snap motion 14.0%, 21st. Shifts 0.0%. Does that not indicate change? Come on. Does that not indicate? And Scott caught on too. I'm not sure what Dan Campbell's talking about. The Lions used motion on 66% of their dropbacks in road games last year. They fell to 23% last week. And it's verifiable. Every stat is verifiable. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's 60% to 40%, but it was different. That's all. So in the end, I mean, does Dan not realize that 1,000 people are going to message me? I mean, come on. I'm a fact finder. I'm a psychologist. I'm a curious cat. Why? I don't need to, and which is the blessing of my spot, which is I don't have to sit there and guess. And sometimes the questions are, really at the basic level. It's new. But you told us it wasn't going to change. And that offense looked different. Why not copy it? That would be outside the box. Copy it to a T. Ben was amazing. That's the biggest honor we can give him. We're going to copy it to a T. It's going to look exotic. It's going to look great. Jamo's going to throw a touchdown pass to make up for the thing that happened last year. So I would just say that maybe it was two minds thinking on the same wavelength, and I wanted to know about change, and he wanted to know about pre-snap motion ideas. But I don't feel like it was a bad question or a stupid question in any sense of the imagination, because I know that you guys want it. Remember, I will stand and take all the heat for you guys. I will take it. That guy should not answer any question. That guy's stupid. That guy don't know ball. That guy's stupid. Listen, the job is to ask stuff to learn. He may like it. He may not like it. I can't control that. I can control how I deliver it. My part should have been to repeat what Jared Goff said. Well, one change major Jared Goff said was the communication was different. Why not keep it the same? John, that's competitive balance. They're the Packers. They may, if they know this and they're going to just identify it. Okay. That's an answer that I can print and talk about. But like I said, I'm not opposed to defending myself, because I think if you watch this, you'll understand where the genesis of the question comes in. And thank you for the nice people that said it was a good question. Some of you may not like it. What do you think of this? This shows you how involved Dan is in the offense, not counting on him to call plays. But that's called a receipt, and you show the manager the receipts always. Now, if you say, and you're inclined to say, John, you've never played a down of football in your life, what is your explanation for the change? It's a new week. Hey, they're all together for the first time. Tate Ratledge. What's your explanation for why the pre-snap motion dropped that much? Why? Why change it? Well, the Packers got new personnel and all this kind of reason. Listen, I go with what brings me to the dance, and that's the Lions offense from 2024. Austin C, $5. Pre-snap motion, play action, the team was built on. Non-existent play calling was completely vanilla, resembled a JV team. Very poor output with huge talent. I feel like if you learned where all that came in my head, that's how it all got there today. Isn't that reasonable for that question? Herman Moore said, get after it. Go. There's no pass. Equinemius St. Brown says the fans are a little bit shocked because that offense don't look right. It looks busted. The staples that made it beautiful weren't there. And then you had Goff saying, well, we had some changes. It's going to take time. Well, my natural thinking just as a critic would be, if you didn't change anything, it just maybe would look better. Week 1, scored touchdowns. Hey, you have Isaac Tesla. Might want to throw it to him in the red zone. Maybe you have him play 9 snaps as opposed to 3. Maybe he does that when it counts. You see what I'm saying? And also, too, it's not, and every question I ask may not be the right one, but I defend my right to ask it and him to declare what his thinking is or what his vision is for the topic of conversation. Now, also, too, this had a minor impact on the question. I also read a headline in an outlet that has 6 credentials that the Lions offensive coordinator is the Timu Ben Johnson. I read that whole thing because I subscribe. Do I agree with some of it? Yeah. But that's what it is. Good question, bad question. Let me know. Would it behoove? What changes should the Lions get back to? What do you think about pre-snap motion? Would that behoove the Lions? Do you trust that they're going to get back to the running game? It might take time. It might take time to get after it. It's not exactly the week Dan Campbell wants to hear about Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson called Dan Campbell family, and Dan did the same. It did, didn't it? I didn't think it was that serious. His voice changed, his demeanor changed. Maybe it was the fact that Jared maybe shouldn't have revealed that. Maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud. But it's in print. He said it on the radio to a massive audience. But that's here nor there. What do you guys think? You're free to comment it. You're free to message me at Detroit Podcast. And the wild part is that there's been equal parts support. Keep going. And there's equal parts, you're a jabron. I'm a jabron. What are you going to do? Doc, your questions are great. He didn't like the truth. Listen, if the Lions lose, there may be some more of it. Someone's got to do it. But I give you my word, I will be more direct. The problem is direct comes off as like a needle. So I got to find that right balance. You explain it, get to the point. But I'm a talker. I'm a podcaster. Seth, I appreciate it. I know. Thanks, Doc, for asking the questions the fans not want, demand you ask. You don't want me to ask it. You demand it. Trust me, guys. I have a way to know the barometer of what you guys are talking about. That's my job. I'm committed to that. I will stand and take all the heat from the colleagues in the media, from Dan Campbell, from whoever, to commit to, if you want to know about it and I have a similar alignment, I will ask. Stupid it may be. I've earned that right. And it's nice you guys are talking about me. That's a little byproduct. Small byproduct. Skyline 4x4. Doc, we already know the offense will struggle. It was showing in practice when you were saying the defense was dominating. So I think the offense has changed, and you're right. That wasn't in my mindset today, but of course, that's in my subconscious. The offense hasn't looked good. What do you guys think about the offense? What needs to change, and can they do it against the Bears? What needs to change about the offense in your mind this week? Could the Lions get in a shootout this week? How are you seeing this Bears game going? Our first thoughts. What do you think needs to change about the offense? First and foremost, clearly they're going to run the ball better at home. The crowd will be more favorable. The communication will be in line. I see a 4-yard average run per carry. The offensive line's not going to play that bad again. Almost guaranteed. What needs to change? And I think Dan was asked a great question by SB Nation. Okay, what do you do to ensure, if they're going to play too high safety and take that away, that you dictate to them as opposed to the other way around? That's what needs to happen, is you got to dictate everything that goes on. Home game, I think the offense will look a little similar. We'll look a little explosive. J-Mo will have a touchdown. Better is on my fantasy team. J-Mo will get after it, will improve no matter what. He'll have better statistical numbers this week than last week. The home crowd will do it differently. The home crowd will not be, because of the fact that the Packers were quite disruptive. And they were covering, they were on it. And they caused the Lions to fall apart. Crew Jones. A lot of these people saying week 1, relax, are going to be asking for heads if they lose to Chicago next week. Exactly. There is no relax in the NFL. It is an intense 17-week grinder. And Dan said it. This means we're important. This is what I've always wanted to cover, an important team where everything is looked at, everything's asked about. This could never happen again. And we're not going to critique losses now. We're not going to explore every single avenue. And I think maybe the biggest one, something's changed with the offense. It could be even as minuscule as a couple calls. That's a change. Now, of course, you probably can't have an exact replica, but a lot of the staples that you wanted to do. Did you think the run concepts were exotic in any way, shape, or form? Something unique? No. Like I said, I felt that this is an offensive team with that same talent. Nothing changed but the coordinators and the execution of the offensive line. Frank Ragnow is a big deal. That's a change, clearly. But Graham Glasgow had a whole training camp. Tate Ratledge is a draft pick. This is not college. There's no redshirt year. You play, you perform. Christian Mahogany, inexperienced, but he's a good football player. That was just week 1, poor execution. But it costs you. A division game counts as 2. That's what they say. Counts as 2. So in the end, who needs to relax? What's there to be relaxed about? You're 60 minutes away from being 0-2. Remember, the hope crowd will sit there and just hope about everything. There's no insight. There's no analysis. They'll show up at Allen Park with Lions gear on. There's no insight. There's no nothing. Lions are great. They'll always be great. They're always going to win. And let's get to the next week. I just don't think that sports fans operate that way in the analysis of a football team. It was unwatchable. It was unwatchable. Rex Ryan, ESPN, that was concerning that the offensive line played like that. What did you practice? You practice hard to be able to simulate. This is the Packers. You should know what's going on. Terrion was at practice today. If you read the practice report, Terrion was at practice. Should be good, but we'll see. Can't say for sure. Kev, 60 minutes from being 0-2 and heading to battle the Ravens. Stuff needs to be figured out now. Simple concept, guys. Again, this is not rocket science. Not rocket science stuff. Thank you for the 600 people paying attention. Hit that like button. Reward me for the tough day. Today was like a day where you're a running back and you get 26 carries. You feel good. 26 carries, 104 yards. You're a little tired, though. And you dropped the ball on the 40 one time. One turnover. But a good game and a win. I'll be at Ford Field, and I'll be at Baltimore. And again, I hope my early talk shared with you that I'm not some egomaniac just wanting to hear my own voice talk. Because now that they mic me up, I'm going to start using more words. Maybe. You mic'd me up. You gave me the pass. Now I'm going to talk and talk and talk and talk. That's not what's happening. I am genuinely curious. I am genuinely not going to assume anything. I might even ask a basic question. How many deep passes are you going to throw this week, Dan? You'll be like, I can't talk about strategy, John. There's no bad questions, guys. I earn the right to ask them. I earn the right to ask them. And I share with you humbly how I come to it. And if you still think it's stupid, then you think I'm a non-ball knowing foo. My last comment on it is, you're not going to not hear me. I'm loud, I'm proud, and I'm not handing the ball off in the end zone anymore. I'm dancing in the end zone when I score. A little bit. I'm not squaring off with Dan. Listen, please. That's not the intention. Dan's always going to be smarter. He's always going to know the X's and O's to the degree, but I'm learning. I've studied Bill Parcells, Jimmy Johnson, swagger, leadership. I'm learning. Doc, thank you for squaring off with Dan. About time somebody does. That's not the mission. The mission is you lost. Your offense didn't play good. Why didn't it look as similar to what it was? Or, I mean, literally, there's a 40% drop off or so in pre-snap motion. That looks statistically significant to me and to all your fans. He said, check the report. Well, the report came to me. How do I handle that? Do the Lions use a lot of pre-snap motion this week? Listen, pre-snap motion don't mean jack shit to me. You know what I mean? That was so far off my radar. I just was like, really, in the end, the key word of the whole conversation was feasible. Could it have been feasible? Like, he could have said, Doc, we thought about it, but we thought that there were some strategies that was really going to help us down the road for the Super Bowl. We thought about keeping it. Yeah, Ben. You could have even praised Ben. Yeah, man, Ben, you liked it, huh? It could have just, I think I hit a nerve. I hit something, but I don't know. I don't know what I did. Because Dan, maybe that was the fifth time about the offense, maybe that it was looked at from a different angle that he didn't like. I don't believe it's just one game. And unfortunately, based on today's events, I do treat it like it's my last session. Like, John, you wrote this. Like I said, I always have that feeling like they're just going to take the credential away. You never know. John, you wrote this. You said this. You're a loose cannon. I'm taking the more loose cannon approach with this. Loose-ish cannon approach. So I'm always fearful. You wrote this. You said this. I'm sorry. You're not going to be welcome here. So I just treat it like, if this was the last thing I'm going to say, I want people to know me for helping out to learn about the Lions. And also, I want to learn. You don't know ball. Well, don't you think I'm trying to learn ball? Mr. Crap Talker on the internet who's jealous of me? Like I said, the people like you, the 600 who are listening, understand what I'm about. I'm trying. So what do we need to change? What do the Lions have to get out? What do the Lions have to change? I think Jared Goff's got to play better. I think there was maybe one or two on the film. I think he could have tried to get it out there, but he checked it down. Just one or two, though. Yeah, that's in essence what I'm saying. I mean, I'm not saying it like that. But he said, what is drastically different? He focused on in the sheet that they give us, what would look drastically different. Crew Jones, there's probably some level of concern from Dan, but he can't say it. I don't know. Who knows, man? That's the whole purpose. And unfortunately, because I, used word salad to try and over-explain myself, there was no insight. Okay, John, thanks. Next question. Shoot. The tone kind of changed. Not for me. I was just like, oh man. Doc, the true loyal fan reporter. That's who you are, and that's what has made you. Keep working hard. Hefe. All right, so that's the offense. The offense, I feel like, is got to score 30. This could be a shootout. Do we see shootout in this game? What are your early thoughts on how this game goes? Is it going to be a defensive grind with Swift and, the Christian's going to do an analysis of the advantages. It's going to go running back to the Lions. I feel like the Lions have an advantage in a lot of ways. And I think Dan Campbell should coach circles around Ben Johnson. Again, my mission also too was this game should be unload the playbook on Ben Johnson. You should have to go out there and play your best football and score a lot of points. What needs to change? What needs to improve? I think pre-snap motion, utilize some eye candy, utilize all of your resources that you have. I need you to use the full power of this offense, the full power of what we're talking at here. I just want to see similarities. Why would you not want that? Oh, I saw another reporter say when Dan heard that question, you freaked out. You didn't think I was going to ask it? I'm the easiest one to predict. It's going to be about the offense. And John Morton. And why doesn't it look the same? We're good, right? No, you lost the game. You lost to a team that took a step and then they gained momentum on you. The Packers right now are better than you. Right now. How, does everybody make everybody happy? What do you want me to say to you people? That it's everything roses and sunshines? Football is not easy. I don't just walk up to the Lions and like some super fans and just say everything is good. Hell no. That Ben Johnson probably is going to stay up all night, all day to try and figure out a way to beat Dan Campbell. It could happen. You are 60 minutes away from staring 0-2 in the face, going to the Ravens. So remember, externally, the Lions are not going to be that way externally, but that's what we do. We talk, we debate, we explore, we figure out what to change. And if they do it, it could work. So, in my opinion, in my humble assessment, my non-ball knowing self, NBKS, I'm a non-ball knowing P, non-ball knowing person, non-ball knowing podcaster. My humble opinion, more eye candy. Set up, I would say maybe even with everybody thinking you're going to use the run to set up the pass, pass the ball. Just boom, Jared Goff, 10 straight passes all over the place. A little bit of trickeration. Hey, what do you know? Pass the ball back to J-Mo. J-Mo throws it to you. Nice touchdown. You out-trick play them. The non-ball knowing podcaster says, change it up. Pass first. Pass. Laporta, Tesla. That will help. Laporta, Tesla, J-Mo, Amon-Ra, Gibbs, Montgomery. And just keep cycling through. And the crowd is happy. What needs to change? Something. I don't know. To me, if you put Ben Johnson's offense in and you're John Morton and you know the cadences, you know it all, I just run the same stuff. Just the same exotic. Wide receivers get schemed open. If you can do it. Just copy the same thing. Why reinvent the wheel? Why reinvent the wheel? Guys, remember too, those kind of talks are good, but they're always gonna say that. The Lions, when they would when they were, not a great team, would say that. Remember what Herman Moore said. Those guys got to be on an even keel. That's them. But they're always gonna spin it. It's fine. We're gonna be better. We're gonna win. Dan Campbell said we're gonna win. I love that. But the offense needs to change. And also, too, what are your early thoughts about the Bears? Any fear about the Bears? I got about 7 minutes left, and I'm flying out of here. Early thoughts on Lions facing the Bears. We'll go deeper throughout the week. What are your early thoughts? I'm confident. I do think the miscommunication. Now, here's the issue. You guys got to pay attention closely. Dan didn't say eradicate the missed assignments. He said cut them by more than half. He's still expecting a little bit of mistakes, which is, I get it. New team, new offense, new coordinator. My early thoughts, very confident. I'm confident. Yeah, very smart. First thought, Caleb being mobile worries me. Oh, man, Eric. So, Kelvin, listen, I know you had Aiden drop into coverage. Do you think he can be utilized as a spy? I don't think, I mean, I could ask that, but I don't think I have it in me for another you don't know ball moment. Do you guys want to know if the Lions are going to use a QB spy? Come on, man. It's all good. Absolutely not. Today's been a good day, Easy, you know? I wonder what happened. I asked a question and it went south. But Easy, let me tell you. I'm going to tell you this humbly and honestly. I'm having a good roll. I'm on a good run. Good run. 7. This is what? 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Wait, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 7 seasons doing this. First season doing it live. I'm having a good time. Life is good on my end, man. And I'm blessed. And also, you know, the stuff that went on today that we all saw. I get blessed to do this. Dude, people hate on me? Dude, what more could I ask for? Good question, bad question. God shined a light on me to put me in some position to have some fun doing this, poke a little bit, upset the apple cart, say things you shouldn't say. In the end, the people that know, they know. Because I just tell them. Some people say to me, John, you have a big ego. And you know what I say to them? No, based on actions, you have the big ego. Does Easy know ball? Does Easy know ball? Is he a ball knowing but guy? Listen, I don't have to ask a question. Ball, Easy, I'll give you props. Last night was watching some analysis of football, and your debate with Stick came on my algorithm. The algorithm featured you, Jesus, and Stick. You crushed it. You crushed it with just simple facts. We're talking about this, Stick, because Howie Roseman made a decision to sign a defensive end. That's why there's an analysis that he's a great GM. Oh, when a great GM who's won Super Bowls adds talent, we all kind of say, oh, why doesn't our GM do the same thing? Ball knower. You crushed that debate. I enjoyed it. Top to bottom, I enjoyed it. Great question. Defensively, Aiden talked about it, and you could tell a little bit that if he's going to get chipped and doubled and tripled and all that attention, there's a problem. There's a problem. He might not produce the sack total number to get him to that 50 million. Well, Aiden, we kind of project you to be a 12-sack guy. A 12-sack guy makes 38. Man, sack, I think because he holds the ball too long and the plays are still new, the second game, the sack total will be less than this game. I got 3 sacks. I think early on, he's going to fall into one. Aiden, Marcus, Tyleek, 1. Momentum will be built. How many sacks do you guys think? Does the defensive line step it up? That's another key. The defensive line didn't win. And Dan Campbell's been saying win one-on-ones. I got 3. 1 from Aiden, 1 from Tyleek, and 1 from Derek Barnes. Huh. What was he talking about? That's always good. Crash out. Easy crash out. What do you want me to talk about? No better personality. He's got a good one. He's got a good one. Well, what do you want me to talk about? The team lost. What am I talking about? I was copying him. Not gonna lie. I don't know. I don't know. Your early thoughts on facing the Bears. I'm confident more, like I said. I'm worried about the offense. I'm just a little concerned. Keisha. It does, Doc, but you are comparing one game to a whole season. Every game is different. It is. The Packers played, they came to play the Lions. They were covering the stunts. I looked at the offensive line's footwork. Literally, it was like a ballet. If you want to watch stellar offensive line play, my non-ball knowing self had to kind of analyze the footwork of the offensive lineman to kind of see how the Lions could do it. I'll say this. It doesn't mean because I ask a question that I don't know ball. Okay? I really don't want you to think that. I know ball. But I'm asking questions for the masses for maybe people who don't. Does that help you understand? There's a big world out there. Some people are intensely into it like me. Some people just browse the newspaper. Okay? So because I ask a question you don't like, please understand, this is the most important part of today. Because I ask a question you don't like, maybe just leave it to the question. You don't get hired to work in sports if you don't know ball. Come on now. But my job is not to flash my ball-knowing knowledge in the media room. It's to ask basic questions for the big fan base audience, not to the 45 people that are geekniks looking on PFF right now. Come on, people. Know where I work. Open your eyes. Stop being ignorant. Yeah, Eric, you're right. Better because we got Lamar next week. Man. I'm scared. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I am more of a panicky kind of guy. Lions up 14-0. Stewart has a nice play. Boom. Ball comes out. Bears get the ball. 14-7. Hanging around. 17-7. All of a sudden, Colston Loveland becomes superhero. 17-14. Lions great. All of a sudden, Caleb Williams with the Hail Mary. That Packers game should have been a buffer. Nothing is out of the realm of possibility when Ben Johnson's desperate. Man's desperate. Desperate people might have Colston Loveland trying to throw the ball. Doesn't stop going for it on fourth down. He's desperate. Lions are desperate. It's going to be an epic chess match. And guys, sometimes the pupil beats the teacher. Sometimes the pupil who's younger, fitter, can stay up till 4 o'clock and go back to the office at 5, might be just more mentally sharper than the older man. Maybe. I need Dan to prove something this game. I think they will. But don't think that I don't have those thoughts. John, you are unprofessional. No. I've already established I clown around on X. Your actions dictate unprofessionalism. But we can always have a chat. You can have a beer. I'll buy you a beer. I respect you to tell you my thoughts. You have the ego. What interests you? Listen, I'm enjoying myself. What interests you on this Wednesday? I'll take a couple questions, and then I'll get out of here for 7:15. Leonard, appreciate you. Shout out to you. 638 people across 2 platforms. Hop in. Hit the like button. Let me know what you like, don't like. Like I told you yesterday, these two phones don't stop buzzing in the NFL world. All right, Leonard, this schedule has us fans concerned because we don't have 4 or 5 games to get it right and gel when we had 2 extra weeks with the Hall of Fame game. Okay, so this opens up a subject, Leonard, that Dan Campbell opened up, so you got to talk about it. Thank you, Lion King. That's really nice to listen that deeply into a show. I'm humbled. Great job, Doc, and shout out to your daughter. Those that know, know. Yeah, 0-2, that's the panic level. 0-2 team. Now, I will tell you what I'll say, though, just to kind of bring down the panic level, just like 4%. I'll still say I'll be very upset if they lose, but the 93 contract issue with Emmett started off 0-2 as well. But they had a contract issue. He wasn't happy, and then he was so lucky that they started 0-2, he got more money. Yeah. I mean, Leonard hit it right on the head. Okay. So this is also us. It's not a critique. It's just an analysis. Dan said that maybe he could have considered playing Ratledge and Mahogany more in the preseason. Should that have been a strategy? Here's the double-edged sword. It's hard to formulate an opinion because, unfortunately, many people glamored to that part of the headline. But the next sentence he said was, well, but that's why I really love the joint practices, because you get good on good, you get work, you get enough. But in games, you don't simulate just stunts and motions and things you don't expect. So you get a little bit of a live reaction to things. I'm thinking the Lions got to change their preseason philosophy. If this year goes and you're 0-3, 0-4, and your offense is not swell, I think you got to be able to at least have a couple series against, hey, you just call the other guy and say, hey, please just start your ones. We're only going to go 2 series this game. We just got to see some things. We just got to see some crisp passes from Goff. I'm just going to throw one up there. I just want to see Goff react to a stunt, or Goff react and the offensive line react to something that we can put on tape. How much would that help the team? I don't know, but I don't feel like they maybe would have had that much miscommunication. Miscommunication? We couldn't talk to each other. It was just a miscommunication. Dan Gamble, keep fighting the good fight. Listen, I truly don't believe it's a fight. It's not a battle. There is a little battle in that my job technically is to poke and prod and find things that they don't want to talk about. That is the job. But I also have to communicate it in a way where he'll answer me back. So that part I failed. I dropped the ball and I failed you guys. And for that, I'm going to beat myself up for hours. I'm not used to an NFL coach retorting. It's I ask, you answer, they go to the next guy who's trying to fight over me. I'm not used to it. Honestly, that might have been the second time Dan Campbell has done that. What did you see differently? Luckily, I spit out something. I might have started stuttering. I'm not used to that. It's I ask, you answer. What did you see that was different? Well, the pre-snap motion was different. Which is now, see, this is the hard part of the job when you're mentally like me. Why would Dan direct me to learn about the pre-snap motion that I was right about? Why would he do that? Does he think I'm stupid? Unless they're wrong. I don't know. I don't get that. Like, that part will just stick in my head. Like, he asked me, go check it out. It clearly looked less. It clearly looked like they were very bland and set up and go. Nothing exotic, nothing crazy, just a standard 2018 offense. John, I need you to go check out I think he got I don't know if he got rattled or if I upset him and he got really pissed because Jared said something about the communication, or he misinterpreted that Jared felt like the communication was different and in a bad way. I don't know, but I don't get that privilege. He doesn't talk till Friday. And that's the part that's tough, is I know that I'm always the second to last question. So I got to get it in there. But I am humbly sorry that I didn't get an answer. A miscommunication really in the end is my fault. And I'm not doing this for attention. I'm not doing this to garner a YouTube page, but it does help. But I will say, I truly, for those that pay attention and listen, will ask questions that I believe a lot of you want me to ask. A lot. And if the whole world hates it and a lot of you love it, I'm asking. That's the other thing too. I got a battle to talk. A lot of good media members, man. A lot of great media members. Just one guy tried to get a question off 5 times, couldn't get it out. But then what ends up happening is I'm always at the end, and it's always like Jack, Jill, Ben, John. Back Jack, Jill, Ben, John, Tim. So I'm always at the end. So, but luckily that one was never going to be asked. I knew that. My early thoughts on facing the Bears, I'm a little bit nervous, but confident. At least it can't look no worse than that. It's not a fight. It's not a fight. There's no fight. That egomaniac, bar him from asking questions. That's the best thing. That's the best thing in the world. You know what? I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Somebody texted me today. Guess who it was? I don't know what you're trying to accomplish, Mr. Macaroon. You are unprofessional. You know what I said back? I think we have a fundamental disagreement on the job, pal. You are unprofessional. Why? I don't worry about you. I don't bother to pay attention to 95% of the people out there. I'm just doing my job. Does that make any sense logically? If you're me, wait a minute. You're doing a job. Isn't it your job to kind of know everything about the Lions? If you may have a question, isn't that your job? Well, I replied. I said humbly, listen, I'm clowning around on Twitter, man. I'm clowning around. I don't take anything seriously there. I am literally clowning around. I put heart emojis. I put eggplant emojis on there. There is nothing serious about that page. Nothing other than the articles. I said, but fundamentally speaking, if you do your job and you don't pay attention to 95% of people doing it, you're just in your little cocoon, my friend. There's a little difference here. I read you. I read 19 people a day. ESPN, SI, this new thing that popped up, A to Z, Herman Moore, Woodward Sports. I pay attention to 125% of stuff that I probably shouldn't even listen to bring you guys as much information. You're in a little cocoon, my man. You're in a little cocoon, and you're asking questions to your audience. It's not clear what's going on with the Lions. To help out, there's 12 great reporters covering the Lions. You just got to peek at one of them. Just peek. And I would hope that I'm included in that mix. I'm not going to be. But also, too, I feel like I humbly try to make the job better for those doing it because I want them to keep it. And I feel like humbly on a direct level, if you don't know John Macaroon, Nolan, Ben, Corey, you don't know what they're writing, I think you're doing a disservice in the job. That's all. Nothing serious. Nothing offensive. I'm just asking nicely. I feel like I should be in your rotation. I should be in your Rolodex of like, dang it, that John is tweeting at 10 o'clock on about the Lions. I feel that way because I humbly follow you. So you're so misinformed about me that it's actually comical. But we had a conversation. It was nice. It was pleasant. I do not have an ego problem. I have a journalism problem. you should be diligent in your efforts to bring your readers, maybe they're not my readers, your readers, all the best information possible. That would include adding every human being that talks about the Lions to your phone, that if they tweet, it comes out. You know, when Derek messages about the Lions, I listen to it. That dude is crazy. When Derek is like, hey, 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 the defensive line is terrible, there may be a nugget of information that is wise that I could latch onto. That's how crazy this job really should be done. So that's the job. But when you misconstrue and you come at me with stupidity, you're going to get the truth. John, you have a big ego for a therapist. First of all, you don't know anything about me. You didn't take a minute to learn anything about me. And if you did, just ask a question. Hey, Doc, you want to have a sandwich? This is all, like I said, lighthearted. But if you did, you'd realize, man, that's actually one of the nicest people on earth. But just get out of your cocoon, man. Get out of your cocoon. There's some entertaining people out there. It's me. That's the goofiest MF. Yes, that's me. Listen, you know why? I got nothing to lose, brother. I have a career. I got everything I needed to ever get out of this. But I am going to say that if I don't like something in the way the journalism field works, I'm going to say it. I don't like that policy of stay in your cocoon and just do your work and ignore 90 to 95% of people doing the job. That just doesn't sound logical to me. It's not ego driven. It's do the job the way that it kind of should be done, or at least the way I'm doing it. Oh, man, it's great. No, it's all good, man. Terrible question. He don't know ball, all that stuff. Listen, I feel like some people liked it. Hell, I don't know how many liked it, but end up working good. Listen, it's all in the end conjecture, talk, philosophy. Some people have one philosophy, other people have another. And one of you guys gave a super chat. We got to talk about it. Yeah, absolutely, man. Sad day. R.I.P. Charlie Kirk. $2 from Austin C. A sad day. I saw that it was tough. It puts things in perspective. You know, this kind of stuff. We're just talking about like philosophy on how to do the job. My brain is like rigid. Like, I don't know. You guys tell me. That's what I always say. I always say, how do you present information by ignoring great people who are giving the information? Never in a million years. I feel like I would be doing a disservice to the audience. That's right. A good reporter isn't a scary reporter. Oh, man. All right, we got here on this. Doc, same question EQ had for Amon-Ra. Do the fans boo if the Lions lose? Yeah. I feel like if they, halftime score, if they're down by 10, I think the fans are going to get uncomfortable. This is a Super Bowl team. Vincent E. Love the content, Doc. No, he didn't confront me. He didn't confront. First of all, I'm in it. So you guys actually, how did it look? I asked the question. He said it. I think he got a little bit like physically, like he got something, and then they moved on. Like it was literally over within 5 seconds. I said my part, it was over in 5 seconds. Did it look like he was confrontational? I haven't gone. Yeah. Steve, when I see that, I mean, that's kind of the job, is to kind of ask questions that are a little bit uncomfortable. I don't know. I think it was fine too. Are you guys nervous about a loss? I just don't feel it. I don't feel the nerves of a loss. You think about worst case scenario, but you also see two desperate teams and it could happen. So it could happen. You get concerned, you get nervous, you wonder what's going on. Jared did say, again, like I said, I'm there and I heard it. He said, in all the times that he's been in the league, offenses take 3 to 4 weeks to get into the rhythm. If that's the philosophy, I just feel like this year was the year not to do that. This might have been the year to then play in the preseason and get hit the ground running. You asked the tough ones. We all thought the offense was totally different. And also, too, exactly, Kevin. Simplistic. That's all. I know a lot of, listen, the people that message me that I truly, truly care about, I got what I need to get. The question was, why change it? You guys are funny. You guys came in here to make some jokes, huh? Exactly. Kevin, did you like the question? Was it fair in your mind? The question was, is it feasible to kind of look at it and say, why change anything? Your offense was amazing last year. I mean, almost historic. Oh my God. Could you imagine? Now, let's everybody imagine this, because I think this is what some people wanted to have happen today. I would have took one for the team. All right. I would have took one for the team. And this is to tell you how serious I am about the Lions. If it made Dan feel better, and it would have relieved some tension, and he would have felt like he would have smacked up an idiot reporter, he could have walked off that stage and said, "Don't talk about my John Morton." Bam! He could have slapped me right across the head. And I would have not sued him. I would have said, all right. All right. All good. I would have said, you're right. No more John Morton questions. You have a big ego. You realize that's the furthest. That's how far off the map you are, brother. Far off the map. You didn't even get the gist of what I was doing, bro. You didn't even get the respect of me to understand deeper what I was doing. You didn't even bother to watch a podcast. You didn't bother to pay attention. I heard. Be like, you didn't, like I said, with everything going on, maybe, listen, losses put a little bit more tension in the air. The fan base is a little bit more, please be on Dan's side, please. I'm on the side of the team. But I commit to do the job the way it's got to be done. And actually, too, in the end, I blame all of you. How dare you direct message me? How dare you ask me to ask Dan Campbell about the change in the offense? How dare you? I hope today helped you laugh a little bit, not take me seriously, not kind of get your mind distracted a little bit if you need this hour to figure out what the heck goes on with that crazy media room. Hopefully you get a little more insight into how I put stuff together, why I put stuff together, what I'm willing to do. The standard is the standard, I've heard. And I believe the standard should always be, if you're presenting information to Lions fans, you present the best information, the most researched information, the most thorough information. That means you wake up at 6 a.m., you read every article printed that day, the day before. You listen to some podcasts. You read some comments. You text some agents that you know are never going to message you. They are never, ever in a million years going to give you the time of day. You still do it. Because maybe 2 or 3 will message you back one day. So I'm committed to bringing you as much knowledge about the Lions as humanly possible via some entertainment, via some facts, via some stories, via some videos. And I will not print in my site. It's unclear about something when another great reporter has written it. Ever in the history of everdom, that will never happen. What am I unclear about? How to ask a question. How to spit out words when the 6'8" tight end's looking at you. What do you mean it's changed? Bro, the whole world doesn't like your offense right now. It's just right now. We just gotta listen. I'm simpleton too. Like I said, I'm a very simple simpleton kind of guy. I wear the same 8 collared shirts, just buy new ones every year, the same color. I take the same route. I do the same kind of things over and over and over and over. It's repetitive. I like it. I like the restaurants. I go the same order. If you make it good, I'll order it. If something's delicious, I'll do it. If something is different and it doesn't taste as good, my wheels start spinning. I go, what happened? What happened? Why would I don't buy into week 1. Remember too, I am influenced. Herman Moore. There is no excuse. It's time to go. That's a former player. You don't respect a former player? You think it's just easier to lob bombs at me. But a former player on your team, Herman Moore said, there is no ease into it. It's go time now. Herman Moore. Equanimeous St. Brown. Everybody's a little bit surprised and shocked at what they saw because it was so jarring compared to the Zenith. I'm not talking about a game against Arizona where they go, they didn't play as good and they won 18-14. I'm talking about when they were rolling and they were going toe-to-toe with some of the best teams scoring points, looking like a Super Bowl team. Can you do that? Or just a half hour later, I think a lot of your fans turned on the Bills-Ravens game and said, I want my team to look like that. I want my team to come out of the chute and score 40 points. Have a comeback game. Not have the opponent trade for a defensive end, a generational talent, and then they dance on your grave and you're easing into the process. This is no ease. There's no ease into the process. There's got to be so much urgency, and I feel it's going to come out. Exactly, Steve. Kevin, you got my respect too. Exactly, Steve. This is not high-level type analysis here. And John Morton said it would be silly to change it. I'm just going to tweak it. I'm saying, well, put it back. Put it back right away. Put it back. Put it back. Don't tweak anything. Put it back. Simple. That's where I feel maybe it is a common man simplistic take. Put it back. And I know that you say, well, you have you rostered Graham Glasgow. You put him in that spot. He doesn't get a pass. You picked him. Remember, you picked 50 players, not 53. He was one of them. 50. You said, we got standards. Do you say you have standards, or are you just saying it so that you can say it? No, standards are when you report information to people, you seek out and be curious and seek out the true knowledge. I always thought, and like I said, I may be a bonehead. I always thought the true definition of journalism was to seek out the truth if you had a question. And if the truth is staring you in the face, you might have to acknowledge it. Sometimes you might have to be forced to acknowledge it. That's my opinion. If you're a journalist and you ignore some others, you're not pursuing the truth. That's all it is, the pursuit of the truth. The truth, and trust me, I believe the Lions coverage is so good right now. The amazing talent in that room that probably all think I'm an unprofessional clown. The talent in that room is so good that if you guys had a question about the Lions, the second you thought it, one of the 12 people would have written it or tweeted it or shared it. That's how good the talent is in that room. It's the pursuit of the truth. not the pursuit of my own opinion. So maybe I am a clown. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should say, you know what? I'm going to cut off my subscription to The Athletic. I'm going to cut off my subscription to the news, Free Press. Stop reading Pride of Detroit. Stop reading A to Z. That one's A to Z is entertaining, but that one's hard. Mike, I like his work though. Get you to read. Stop reading A to Z. Stop reading M Live. Stop reading the news. Stop reading ESPN. Stop watching Woodward Sports. I should stop doing all that. And just, here's what I think today. Here's my opinion. And I'm just going to do a podcast every single day. Come on. Little bit of respect for the guy. I heard you did this on your silly little platform. I will get in that 10%. Loudly, quietly. Maybe this time I'll do it a little more professionally. Be like, hey, man, I'm in the mix. There's some knowledge I'm going to have. Put me in your mix. Put me in the journalism club. I'm trying. But yeah, that's kind of what I want to talk about. Man, this hour and a half flew by. Holy cow. Again, truly sorry if you really felt that I asked a stupid question. That's not the mission. The mission is to entertain, inform, pursue the truth-ish in some way. Hopefully I earn your respect. I really just want your respect. That's it. And you show me respect by not texting me when you're mad at me. That's when you text me? He was like, I cannot believe what the hell's coming back on this phone. Yeah, that's me. That's me, dog. He's looking at it like, no, I'm not unprofessional. You're unprofessional. Humbly. No emotion behind it. You're unprofessional. You. And you confirmed it with your messages. But I like you still. I love you. I got a lot of love for you. You know how, don't worry about the texts and the tweets. You know how I show you respect? In the end, I think you guys know who I'm talking about. You know how I show you respect? I visit your site every single day. I read every article. Every single article that you print, I read. And so you don't think I'm going to feel some kind of way as a reader? You're talking to me, bro. And I'm not one of those passive readers. I'm one of those that would say, why didn't you have the answer? When John McEnroe has an answer that he shared half an hour ago and he shared 12 hours ago. I'm a reader. So not only am I a podcaster, not only am I a media member, but I'm also a consumer. And this consumer doesn't accept a bad offense, doesn't accept that. Now, I should have fired off an email and a text to you. Mr. Person, I am not happy that you have disregarded information that's being presented publicly and massively. I should have fired off a text. After 7 years, I would think that you should report, well, I skipped 90% of the material. Well, I'd love for you to read me. I'd love to earn your click. He'll be like, hell no, not a million years, dog. He'll look at me and be like, your shit's terrible. But guess what? I got a platform. I'm going to be wild about it. Listen, in the end, if they throw me out tomorrow, I lived the dream, brother. I lived the dream. But that's why I can do it. I find that to be. Now, I did put a little bit of a smile emoji in it, man. It's not serious. I find it revolting, Mr. Macaroon. Do you know I tell penis jokes on a podcast for 15 years and get paid to do it? What on earth do you think you take anything seriously out of that shit that you see on there? Come on, man. Read a little deeper than the dumbass comments I'm making on X. Come on, man. You're a journalist. I know, he didn't answer my question. Remember, at Detroit Podcast, the first word on there is entertainment. It's fun. I kind of hope you guys go there to kind of relax, to get some information. The links are professional to the story. The website is professional. Here is beyond whatever this is. This is just my therapy, really, in the end, and my joy to talk to the 900 people watching right now. I can't believe it. Remember, I'm the lone wolf for a reason. I think differently, I act differently, and I don't need universal approval from nobody. I could stand there all by myself for the next 20 years. They all can look at me. I'm good. I'm really good. God shined his light on me. And if you think I'm an egomaniac, then I'm an egomaniac. If you think I'm good at my job, I'm good at my job. If you think I'm a non-ball knowing slappy, I'm a non-ball knowing slappy. But one thing, you'll always see me have energy, smile, and I will read every piece of Lions information out there. If you've done a podcast for 13 people, I'm one of those 13. I promise you. No. You know who asked that question today? That was Jeremy. You believe that kid asked that question? Can you believe it? What a he's great at what he does. He's good at what he does, but he could be better. Amazing at what he does. I mean, amazing. He earned my readership for 5 years. What, 2020, 2019? 7 years. It's a lot of positivity, bro. But it's good. A lot of factual knowledge. That just doesn't, no. It's good. It's good. No. You know what they do when I roll in the room? I walk in there. Half the time they're working, which is good. They're serious. I talk to 2 people every day. Say hi, how you doing? Check in. And then if someone's, just bored, I'll be like, man, your podcast was super boring this week, bro. And I'll just little needles. I'll be like, man, you gotta, you only put out 19 articles today. I'm going to need you to put out 21. I'm a paid subscriber. Stuff like that. Listen, I am the least serious person in that room by far. But I would say I'm probably the most relatable. It's different. It's just a different dynamic. They all got people to answer to. In the end, I got to answer to me. I got people to answer to, but it's a different dynamic. I have the best. One day when I write my book, I'm going to share the best way to do media, the best A+ way to do it, or don't do it at all. If they lose, what would I ask? But see, here's the thing. Here's the problem, Steve. That's a challenge. I'll give you some inside information. I have fought for better coverage because in the end, the Lions, and probably if I talk to you about it, this is what's driving the insane behavior, is that all the others get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 friends in that room. I just asked for one, just to bounce an idea off of, to get another perspective, to go, hey, I'm thinking this, he thinks this. Just it. I will never ask for more than 2. I got to get my brother-in-law in. I got to get my cousin in. Cousin Mohammed wants to get into the thing. You know how we do as Arabic. If you got an opportunity for access, Cousin Mohammed's got to come. Cousin Wassam's got to get in. My mom, my wife. Can I come to the Lions with you? Yeah, give me a credential. No, I just want another colleague that I can pay hard-earned money to. And I feel like I've earned it, quite frankly. And I just want to do, like I said, makes things a little bit easier. And they could ask some questions too. Insightful for their stories. Again, it's just me. One singular voice. They all get to bounce ideas off each other here and there. Some got 1, some got 2, some got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, but you got to pursue the truth. What would be to bring it because there's only one of me, I used to go listen to Dan's presser after the game, but they air it on YouTube. So my writers can listen to it and write it. I go in the locker room and talk to the players because there's a lot of juice you guys care about when I write what the Lions players are saying in the locker room. I get the video access. I can ask 9, 10 questions and talk to about 6 players after a game. So I'm limited by the one pass. So I will not ask Dan Campbell a question after a game because that's when the fireworks would happen. Because the flow of that is I'm more direct. Independent Aquaman. BJ is overrated, but his Bears might still beat our Lions during our Lions' 5th, unofficially 6th preseason game. Regardless, our Lions will beat Lamar's Ravens. Oh, I like it. Thank you, Independent Aquaman. 900 people in here. Thank you. Hopefully you like the community. 2 platforms, X. Please like the chat. Leave a comment, good, bad, indifferent. No, I don't. It aired yesterday. Maybe. You never know. I don't think so. I really think he looked at it like I was saying, that the change of communication upset Jared. Maybe it did. I don't know. John from Zach Holton, 999. Thank you. Thank you so much for peeking in, man. I appreciate it. It does mean a lot to me. If we start 0-3, should we start panicking or say it's too early? No. You listen. Very rarely, I mean, it wouldn't end the you still have a chance theoretically, but the odds are against you factually. You go 0-3 with that schedule, it's going to be hard to then go, so let's do the math. 17 games in a season. You've already had 3, 14. You need to get 10. So you'd have to go 10-4. That's tough. That's tough. You need to bank up these wins. You got to beat the Bears. That's a win. You got to sneak one. You got to just kind of chip away. You got to sneak one between the Bengals and the Ravens. You got to sneak one between the Commanders and the Eagles, and you got to crush at home. So, so Zach, here's been my philosophy overall. My philosophy this year has been you crush at home and just try to get to 500 on the road. That Packers game doesn't help you. It's a loss. And I bet you there's some way of thinking that that's what the Lions are thinking too. Let's just try to win 7-8 games at home and go 3-5, if we can on the road. But yeah, it's concerning because guys, I mean, I don't know what to say panic, but it would be disappointment that it doesn't seem like the team would be closer to the Super Bowl. Not in this year. And then it would definitely start to open the question about, is it time to kind of tear down a little bit and restock? In my humble opinion. Johnny Hughes, you demand Doc, even in your Honolulu Blue 2-2, we support you. I know. All opinions welcome, good, bad, and different. I wouldn't stand here and take criticism and understand it, try to understand where I could do better if I didn't think that there's opportunities to learn about stuff from the Detroit Lions. Dan Campbell's like, what was drastically different? I should have just said, I don't think you scored enough points. Well, imagine if I would have said that. I feel like my responses have been so tame. Pre-snap motion, the routes were a little bit weird. I should have been like, I wanted to see J-Mo dancing in the end zone, Dan. J-Mo's on my fantasy team. I'd be like, Dan, listen, all seriousness, J-Mo's on my fantasy team, and my nephew is just ripping me apart nonstop. I didn't see that. He has officially taken my job and questioned me more. You think the guy sitting at home complaining about me don't know ball? This kid is like, you're a non-ball knowing, bald, ugly, poor representative, and you're the worst podcaster, I think, in the media. He's like, they all do podcasts and they're better than you. That's my nephew. Now, he's kidding. He's needling, but proud of him. He's like, your podcast is the worst. You know what he did? He said, I watched The Syndicate. He's more entertaining than you. His studio is so much nicer. He's got a lion logo. You don't even have a bright blue lion logo. You don't even wear any of the gear like the others. Be like, I can't wear Lions gear to the media session. Yes, you can. You said some media members wore some Lions gear into the session. I try to portray a level of confidence and a level of professionalism that you all expect and demand. You think your comments calling me a non-ball knowing fool has any impact on me whatsoever? I got a nephew, bro. I got a nephew. And you think if I'm going to put the warning out now, if he goes to journalism school and he becomes a writer, they will forget Carlos's name. They will forget it. because he don't care. He don't care. Like he's like, I want to go to New York. I'm like, you want to go to New York and cover the teams? Like, yeah, that's how you do media. You ask, you prod, you demand, you expect. He's like, you guys are too soft, uncle. Oh my God, this new generation? No, don't worry. The new generation is not going to be slappies. No. The next generation is going to be demanding and prodding and curious because they learn from all the mistakes made by this generation. This is Detroit. This ain't Akron, Ohio. Great question, Steve. Amik Robertson, easiest player to interview. Nice, insightful, just direct. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, bro. Amon-Ra St. Brown, you could ask him the weirdest question, and he'll find some way to acknowledge it, answer it, and keep it moving. Amon-Ra is the smartest guy probably in that building because he does it for like he's quick-witted, smart. Amik is super talented. Back in the day, Trey Flowers taught me football. Cool dude. Oh, you forgot about that part. Ball knowing. Non-ball knowing fool. That's me. The question should have been asked by every reporter in the room. Thank you, man. Kevin, that really in the end, I don't know how to keep going after that. Because you wonder, like, man, I don't want to be viewed by like that. You know, you don't want your peers to view you that way. But in the end, by the way they text you, they don't even respect you to read you. I mean, like I said, that's all in your head. Like, they don't even respect you to read you. You know, I mean, there's a human level to it. Outside of the clownery and the nonsense, they don't respect you yet to put you on the list that they would read. What do I got to do? I did features. I'm in the room every day. I ask the tough questions. I do podcasts. I do video podcasts. I engage with the audience. I text agents nonstop all day long. I ask players that I know hate me questions. I can't crack you to read me yet. I don't know what more I can do. You ask Dan Campbell questions. You report the news. You're as honest as you can be. You try to be entertaining. You also try to pay journalists. I pay 2 editors to control me. You pay people. You employ people. You try to get them jobs. You try to get them work for money that you would take out of your pocket and give to them to work. They tell you no. And in the end, they tell you no because the people in that room don't read you. They don't respect you. They don't acknowledge simply, hey, you put out something, I liked it, let me share it. Now, they could say, well, we're busy and all that, but I feel like it's your job to know everything if you're in that room. That's my belief. It's not your job to talk about yourself. It's your job to engage with the people that I feel like it's not me texting all those guys. It's me reading them, paying money out of my pocket to engage in their sites, reading them. But all that, and I still can't crack your 10%, bro. And I got the ego problem. I have the ego problem. Of course I got an ego problem. I'm doing an effing podcast, bro. I'm doing a podcast. I'm trying to make a name for myself. I'm going to make noise. I'm going to talk. I'm going to complain. I'm going to piss you off. It's hard to eat out here on YouTube. It's hard to eat. The Syndicate's got a studio. Look at this. King of Detroit. Some of the silly questions you ask is going to get you banned from the locker room. I'm hoping not. I hope that you listened and didn't think it was silly. Okay, now this one I respect truly. That's the job, King of Detroit. That's the job. I was always of the belief, in my humble opinion, I could be very wrong. Journalism and it could be Orwell or Orson or whoever. You guys can confirm it. Journalism is printing stuff nobody wants read or asked. The rest is PR. They will never hire me to do PR. Like, John, that's not how you do PR. So it is to me, bro. It is to me. And here's the best part, King of Detroit. I may be wrong. Humbly, I may be wrong. But I busted my ass to get a job where they leave me alone. And they say, John, get in that pilot seat and captain this ship. So that's how I'm going to do it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am capping what I'm doing, but I'm very happy. I have 1,000 people in here right now. We're having some fun. It just takes my mind off of the stress of the job. I love broadcasting so much that my plan is to do it 48 minutes and I'm doing 2 hours. And I got to get home and you're going to hear me again for another hour on another show. You can rip me there too. This is 2025 and all voices are welcome. If you want to, in my opinion, if you want to homogenize media, that's kind of boring, bro. That's kind of boring. You need people like me. I just didn't agree with the question. Well, facts are, if you want to talk about changes, at least on one end, the pre-snap motion was way down. Pre-snap motion could help you identify what the defense is, which maybe could help you. The offense only got 2.1 yards. It looked conservative. It looked different. No, those questions are good too. They're informative. They get answered. But there was one today. I think you can figure it out. That's what also too, because your time is so limited with Dan, it goes by quick. One guy asked the question that was asked on the radio yesterday, and I almost started laughing. Do you think you can get interior pressure if Aiden is getting covered? Bro, they asked that yesterday loudly on the radio. The question was, what change? Why? Why change the offense? It was number 1 in the league. Kevin, I think you were simpatico. Basic fans, basic understanding of what's going on. Basic. This is simple. The offense didn't look right. Hey, what the heck happened? Frank, come back. Frank, come back. Frank, come back. Anybody can see I was wrong. Come back. Frank Ragnow, come back. We all can see Grand Glasgow is going to be the end of DOC. Frank Ragnow, come back. Oh. Baby Stark, $4.99 super chat. At the end of the day, we all just want to see Dan drunk ASF at the parade. You know it. Thank you guys. 1,000 people watching at 7 o'clock hour is popular. There it is. Yeah. Front of the line. I'll leave it up there. You know what? My bad. Fumbled again. Oh, 6 minutes. That's a little too long. My bad. My bad, Bobby. Front of the line. You still in front of the line. Bobby. Listen, I'll do it again here. It's the end of the day. It's an hour 50 in. A little bit, like I said, writing 6-7 articles, a lot of words in my head, a lot of things going on. There's a lot of football things going on. There's a lot of personal things going on too. I'm like, baby, man, like, do you know what you're messaging me? Literally, you're messaging me. I don't have time to read you, dog. I don't have time. I'm busy in my lab learning about the Detroit Lions and asking questions about the Lions, but I don't have time to learn about you or what you are, what you think about anything. I'm just going to judge you. Bobby Stark, $4.99 super chat. Big time props from the doc. Hopefully you clip this and share it. At the end of the day, we all just want to see Dan drunk ASF at the parade. Absolutely. God bless you. That's exactly right. Could you imagine what he would say? Could you imagine? You know what's going to happen? That's what I would deserve. He's like, in the dark days of you guys being here in 2021, I respected all of you. I read the Free Press, Pride of Detroit, A to Z Sports, ESPN, Woodward Sports, Clutch Sports, Heavy.com, Yahoo, MSN. I read everybody that was out there, and I'm going to name them all. Am I missing one? No. All of I'm going to read Connor Orr at Sports Illustrated, the great Albert Breer. Was anybody else in that room? I'm going to name them all. And he's going to name them all. And he's going to leave me out. I read you all, and I knew every word you guys said. And here's everybody that did the job properly. Da, 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 da. Did I miss anybody? Nope. Okay. And then and cheers to all you too. And I'll be like, damn, I wrote like 9,000 articles covering your team, dog. But I couldn't get a single tweet out of these reporters. Not a one. I don't think one. Maybe one. That's the mission, though. Honestly, all that was really hyperbole. It's all for show. It's all nonsense. I think you show respect to your colleagues by, one, reading them. Two, if they're in the realm of understanding the Lions and have been in the room and do the job, and they present you with some kind of information, you at least share the deal. That's all. That's it. That's my really straightforward way of someone listening to this, outside all the nonsense on X and the silliness. I just perceive it as, if I haven't earned at least for you to peek at my site once, man, this is a little hard for a guy like me to handle. It's just a little hard because I'm going strong. 1,000 blogs a year. You just naturally, they'll be like, John, did you know that you posted that sticky Sports Illustrated thing on your X? Ignore all that. Ignore all that. Read the words. Like this podcaster from the basement, from the dirt, is doing features, learning, grinding, in the room, showing up every single day as much as possible, skipping Fridays. So you're trying hard. So that's the only goal I think I haven't met yet. You know what I mean? It's the last carrot because in the end, if that happens, I might just retire. I did everything I wanted to do. In my opinion, I've done everything I wanted to do. You got 1,000 people in here. You guys are all about to make sure all 1,000 people go to crunch time. Love those guys. Make sure when I drop out of here in 3 minutes, you go there. But at the end of the day, for me, you go so hard to just get that little bit of respect from your colleagues. Just an inch. I don't need a lot. Just an inch. Just an inch. Like you said, 90%, dog. 90%. So that means, Jeremy, you gave me 10% chance to get in your club. I got 10% chance. I'll smile at you tomorrow. Maybe I'll apologize, but I got 10%. That's the only carrot I need. That's the only thing I'm looking at, dog. That's it. That's all I'm aiming for. Just put John Macaroon reported the lowest level transaction possible. A practice squad transaction. That's the level I'm at. Hey, maybe you could kickstart me a little bit if you clicked on Detroit Lions on SI. That's what I asked you guys to do. The 1,000 people in here, I hope you understand me more than judging me. I shared with you why I ask. I shared with you the premise. I share with you what I want. I share with you that the Twitter page is non-serious. I poke, I clown around, I move on. Some of you will message me, and you can get the information as to what you think that was. But in the end, oh, damn, there it was. Okay. There it was. I knew it was coming. My peeps have discovered what happened today. And oh, here they come. It's happening. Oh, here it is. Oh, here it comes. Oh shit! Oh, it's coming. It's bad. It's bad. Oh yeah. Let's see here. Oh my God! Nuclear. That's why I love my family. That's why I know I can. Oh, guys, it's bad. It's bad. Whew! They're coming in. The lady who posted it has reached my nephew, reached the fantasy group, reached the group chat, and here's what it is. Dog, you about to get your ass kicked. Dog, stop doing that. Dan Campbell's bigger than you. Da, 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 da. Oh, they're not going to let that troll in the room anymore. Oh, it happened right at the end of the show when it got good. I love Dan Campbell. He put that bitch in his place. Oh, shit. I was hoping it wasn't going to happen. I was hoping it wasn't going to hit the group chat. God dang it. See, this is probably part of the madness. This is probably why I'm crazy. I feel like I do this all day and then I can act like that on the internet, which you probably can't. You know, I got put in place. Whew. Sorry. I humbly apologize. I spend all day talking crap to people, and those that know me take the next step to learn maybe a little bit of the method of the madness, and the others can just drop names on me. It doesn't matter. But listen, guys, in the end, whether you love me or you hate me, you can't get rid of me. I own the company. Maybe I should steer it in a more positive direction. But in the end, I got empowered too much to do this. And I'm enjoying the ride and doing it this way. Go watch Crunch Time. If you see me, dap me up, say hi. I am a nice person. And the nicest compliment you can pay is be in this room, chat, compliment, respond. You can call me a clown. It's fine. Guys, remember, Twitter can't hurt me. My family, they cut deep. My family, my nephew is cutting deep. But the blessing is I get to do it back with love and respect and humbleness. I hope one day, though, the final time, I think this will be the final time I talk in this direction, you know, in regards to it. I've met all the goals on the videos. I've met the goals on YouTube. I have some level of fun doing this. I only want one day for a handful of people that I talk to in that room to say, hey, you did a good job. I read your shit. Good story. Hey, I saw that you found out some information we were looking for. I'm going to include it in my story. Hey, I respected that you asked that question. Or, hey, I didn't like that question. You could have asked it like this. Or, hey, good stuff. Reported by John Macaron. Reported by Detroit Podcast. You know, what they're going to do is they're going to say reported by Christian. That's all. But I got a chance. The guy didn't close the door. He said 90%. That means you're excluding me. Technically, on a technicality. I read 90% of Lions content. That's what I'm asking, dog. I want to be in that 10. I want to be in that 10. I'm fighting. I read 90%, but not you. Soon you will. That's how I operate. See you guys later. Let's go. 8:45. I might just tell a whole different story on Crunch Time. Fact check me if what I said here applies to over there. I just did 2 hours on this. Let's go. See you guys. Hopefully you come back.